How are you guys doing? Today is Saturday, December 18th, 2021. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to review the Elite matchups and performances from yesterday, Friday, December 17th, and taking a quick step back and looking at where we are in the calendar year. The football seasons are coming to an end as we are just starting to inch our way through the college bowl season that will go into the beginning of the 2022 calendar year. The NFL has about 4 weeks left in its season, and the basketball seasons are just underway as well. And not to mention that we are approaching the end of the year, which is the midway point for the soccer seasons. But with that said, I'm going to take a look at the very first bowl games that were played yesterday. Taking a look first at the Bahamas Bowl, this matchup was between the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders and the Toledo Rockets. In this matchup, Middle Tennessee would beat Toledo 31-24. Toledo outscored Middle Tennessee 17-14 in the first half, but then Middle Tennessee would outscore Toledo 17-7 in order to come from behind and pick up this very big win. And on the losing end of this matchup, the Toledo Rockets were led by their starting quarterback, DeQuan Finn. He threw for 214 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. He also ran for 83 yards and a touchdown on the ground. He would combine for 295 total yards of offense with his 3 touchdowns. Toledo's leading rusher, Brian Koback, had 18 carries for 126 yards on the day. He also had a receiving yard, so he had 127 receiving yards in his final football game of the season. Toledo's leading receiver was Matt Landers. He had 4 receptions for 137 yards and a touchdown. On the defensive side of the ball, Deontay Johnson led the team in tackles. He had 10 of them. Nate Givon finished with 7 tackles as he had both of the team's sacks. And Samuel Womack had 2 tackles as he would also have Toledo's lone interception. On the winning end of this matchup, the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders were led by their starting quarterback, Nick Vachado. Vachado would finish with 270 passing yards as he threw for 2 touchdowns. Sorry if I'm butchering the name, by the way. He also had 9 yards on the ground, so Middle Tennessee's quarterback had 279 total yards of offense. Their leading rusher, Frank Peasant, had 15 carries for 64 yards as he had a touchdown on the ground. Middle Tennessee's leading receiver, Jaron Pierce, had 4 receptions for 114 yards as he had one of the team's lone 2 passing or receiving touchdowns. DQ Thomas would be Middle Tennessee's leading tackler as he had 8 of them on the day. And Zaylen Wood would log the team's lone interception as he additionally had 3 sacks. With this win, Middle Tennessee will finish their 2021 season with a 7-6 record. And with this loss, the Toledo Rockets will finish their season with a 7-6 record within their season as well. And taking a look at the other bowl game that took place yesterday, it was the Tail Greeter Cure Bowl. And this bowl game featured the Northern Illinois Huskies and the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. And in this matchup, Coastal Carolina would beat Northern Illinois 47-41. Coastal Carolina was outscored by Northern Illinois 24-19 in the first half, but then Coastal Carolina outscored Northern Illinois 28-17 in the second half. On the losing end of this matchup, the Huskies were led by their starting quarterback, Rocky Lombardi. Lombardi threw for 181 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also ran for 66 yards and an additional touchdown. He finished with 247 total yards of offense and 3 touchdowns. Northern Illinois' leading rusher, Jay Ducker, had 24 carries for 146 yards. He also had a 15-yard reception, so he had 161 total yards of offense. Northern Illinois' second leading rusher, Ontario Brown, finished with 12 carries for 105 yards and a touchdown. Northern Illinois' leading receiver, Cole Tucker, had 6 receptions for 87 yards as he had one of the team's 2 touchdowns. Nick Ratton had 7 tackles on the day. And then as he led Northern Illinois in tackles, on the winning end of this matchup, the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers were led by their starting quarterback, Grayson McCall. He threw for 315 yards and 4 touchdowns. He also ran for 40 yards, so that's 355 total yards of offense. Coastal Carolina's leading rusher was Braden Bennett. He had 6 carries for 108 yards as he had both of the team's rushing touchdowns. Coastal Carolina's leading receiver was Isaiah Likely. He had 7 receptions for 96 yards and 2 touchdowns. Their second leading receiver, Javon Haley, had 7 receptions for 94 yards. On the defensive side of the ball, Silas Kelly led the team in tackles as he had 14. Alex Spillum and Teddy Gallagher, my former classmate at Loyola, would finish with 12 tackles each, and then Dre Pinkney and Enoch Makonza would finish with double-digit tackles as they each finished with 10. With this win, Coastal Carolina will finish their season with an 11-2 record. With this loss, the Northern Illinois Huskies will finish their season with a 9-5 record. Taking a look at what bowl games are going to be going on today, you're going to see UAB and 13th ranked BYU face off in the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl. At the same, or also, we're going to see the 23rd ranked Louisiana Raging Cajuns face off against unranked Marshall in the R&L Carrier New Orleans Bowl. And the roofclaim.com Boca Raton Bowl will feature Western Kentucky and Appalachian State. The PUBG Mobile New Mexico Bowl will feature UT El Paso and Fresno State. The Lending Tree Bowl is going to feature Eastern Michigan and Liberty. And last but not least, the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl presented by Stifel will feature Utah State and Oregon State. But with that said, taking a look at what's going on with collegiate basketball, there was only one top 25 ranked team that had a game yesterday. And looking at what happened with the 9th ranked basketball team in the nation, the Villanova Wildcats faced off against the unranked Creighton Blue Jays at Creighton. Creighton would beat Villanova 79-59. They won this matchup by 20 after they outscored Villanova by 9 in the first half and by 11 in the second half. The Blue Jays, or I'm first looking at the losing end, the 9th-ranked Villanova Wildcats were led in scoring by their starting guard, Colin Gillespie, out of Pennsylvania. Gillespie would go on to finish with 16 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 steals in 35 minutes. He shot 6 for 17 from the field and a perfect 3 for 3 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the unranked Blue Jays were led in scoring by their starting forward, Ryan Hawkins. Their starting senior out of Iowa would go on to finish with 19 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 steals in 34 minutes. He shot 6 for 14 from the field, 3 for 6 from 3, and a perfect 4 for 4 from the foul line. With this win, the Creighton Blue Jays are now 9-3 as they are now 1-0 in the Big East. With this loss, the 9th-ranked Villanova Wildcats are now 7-4 as they start their Big East schedule 0-1. Taking a look now at what's going on in the NBA, starting off with what's going on in Florida. The Orlando Magic hosted the Miami Heat. The Heat would end up beating the Magic 115-105. The Heat won this matchup by 10 after they outscored the Magic by 9 in the first quarter. On the losing end of this matchup, the Magic were led in scoring by their starting small forward, their rookie Franz Wagner out of Michigan. Wagner finished with 27 points and 6 rebounds in 36 minutes. He would go on to shoot 11 for 23 from the field and 5 for 6 from the foul line. The Magic starting shooting guard Gary Harris finished with 20 points, 5 assists, and 2 steals in 36 minutes. He shot 7 for 14 from the field, 3 for 7 from 3, and 3 for 4 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the Miami Heat were led in scoring by their shooting guard off the bench, Max Strus out of DePaul. Max Strus would go on to finish with 32 points and 7 rebounds in 34 minutes. He shot 11 for 15 from the field, 8 for 11 from 3, and 2 for 3 from the foul line. The Heat starting point guard Gabe Vincent finished with 27 points in 36 minutes as he shot 10 for 20 from the field, 4 for 11 from 3, and a perfect 3 for 3 from the foul line. And Miami's elite starting point guard Kyle Lowry would finish with 11 points, 5 rebounds, 15 assists, 2 blocks, and 5 turnovers in 35 minutes. Lowry shot 3 for 6 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3, and a perfect 3 for 3 from the foul line. With this win, the Miami Heat are 18-12. With this loss, the Orlando Magic are 5-25. Taking a look at what went down in Boston, the Celtics hosted the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors would end up beating the Celtics 111-107. The Warriors won this matchup by 4 after they outscored the Celtics by 14 in the first half. half. On the losing end of this matchup, the Celtics were led in scoring by their elite starting small forward out of Duke, Jason Tatum. Tatum finished with 27 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists in 42 minutes. Tatum shot 9 for 19 from the field, 3 for 10 from 3, and a perfect 6 for 6 from the foul line. Also in their starting lineup, their starting shooting guard out of Cal, Jaylen Brown, finished with 20 points and 9 rebounds, as well as 5 fouls in 33 minutes. The former All-Star shot 8 for 16 from the field, 4 for 7 from 3 as well. On the winning end of this matchup, the Golden State Warriors were led in scoring by their goated starting point guard out of Davidson, Stephen Curry. The all-time leader in pointers made finished with 30 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists, as well as 6 turnovers. He fouled out in 35 minutes as he shot 8 for 21 from the field, 5 for 14 from 3, and he shot a perfect 9 for 9 from the foul line. Their starting small forward, former number 1 overall pick, Andrew Wiggins, finished with 27 points and 6 rebounds in 36 minutes. Wiggins shot 11 for 20 from the field and 5 for 7 from 3. With this win, the Golden State Warriors are now 24-5 on the year. With this loss, the Boston Celtics are now 14-15. Taking a look at what went down in Atlanta, the Hawks hosted the Denver Nuggets. The Nuggets would end up beating the Hawks 133-115. The Nuggets won this game by 18 after they outscored Atlanta by 18 in the first half, by 15 in the second quarter. On the losing end of this matchup, the Atlanta Hawks were led in scoring by their elite starting point guard, Trae Young. Trae Young finished with 34 points, 3 rebounds, 10 assists, and 2 steals in 34 minutes. Young shot 12 for 27 from the field, 1 for 6 from 3, and 9 for 10 from the foul line. Their starting power forward, John Collins, finished with 20 points, 10 rebounds, and 2 steals in 33 minutes. Collins shot 7 for 13 from the field and a perfect 5 for 5 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the Denver Nuggets were led in scoring by their point guard off the bench. Bones Highland out of VCU will go on to finish with 24 points. He also had 2 blocks. He did all this in 26 minutes. He shot 8 for 11 from the field, 4 for 5 from 3, and 4 for 5 from the foul line. Their starting point guard, Monte Morris, finished with 21 points in 25 minutes. He shot 8 for 13 from the field, 3 for 5 from 3, and a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. Their elite starting center, the reigning 2021 MVP, Nikola Jokic, finished with 20 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists, and 3 steals in 26 minutes. He shot 8 for 12 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, and a perfect 3 for 3 from the foul line. And then the Nuggets starting power forward, Jeff Green, would go on to finish with 20 points for himself. He also finished with 5 rebounds in 32 minutes as he shot 8 for 13 from the field and 4 for 9 from 3. With this win, the Denver Nuggets are now 15-14, and with this loss, the Atlanta Hawks are now 14-15. Taking a look now at what is going down in New Orleans, the Pelicans hosted the reigning 2021 NBA champs Milwaukee Bucks. The Pelicans would beat the Bucks 116-112 in overtime after outscoring Milwaukee 13-9 in the overtime period. On the losing end of this matchup, the Milwaukee Bucks were led in scoring by their starting point guard, Jrue Holiday. Holiday finished with 40 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals in 44 minutes. Holiday shot 18 for 36 from the field, 1 for 8 from 3, and 3 for 4 from the foul line. Their starting shooting guard out of Duke, Grayson Allen, finished with 25 points and 3 steals in 39 minutes. He shot 8 for 17 from the field, 7 for 12 from 3, and a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the New Orleans Pelicans were led in scoring by their starting point guard, Devontae Graham, out of Kansas. Graham finished with 26 points and 3 steals in 36 minutes. He shot 8 for 12 from the field, and he shot 8 for 12 from 3. He shot a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. Their starting center, Jonas Valanciunas, finished with 24 points and 7 rebounds, as well as 2 blocks and 5 turnovers in 40 minutes. Jonas Valanciunas shot 11 for 15 from the field, and he shot 2 for 3 from the foul line. And the Pelicans' elite starting small forward out of Duke, Brandon Ingram, finished with 22 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals in 43 minutes. He shot 6 for 16 from the field, 3 for 8 from 3, and he shot 7 for 9 from the foul line. With this win, the New Orleans Pelicans are now 10-21. With this loss, the defending champs Milwaukee Bucks are now 19-12 on the season. Taking a look at what's going on in Salt Lake City, the Utah Jazz hosted the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs would beat the Jazz 128-126. Spurs won this one by 2 after they outscored the Jazz by 18 points in the third quarter. On the losing end of this matchup, the Jazz were led in scoring by their elite starting shooting guard out of Louisville, Donovan Mitchell. Mitchell finished with 27 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals in 31 minutes. He shot 10 for 23 from the field, 3 for 11 from 3, and a perfect 4 for 4 from the foul line. And then off the bench, their point guard, who won the Sixth Man of the Year recently, Jordan Clarkson, would go on to finish with 21 points and 2 steals in 26 minutes. Clarkson shot 8 for 15 from the field, 3 for 7 from 3, and a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. The Jazz elite starting center, Rudy Gobert, would go on to finish with 16 points, 14 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks in 33 minutes. He shot 5 for 8 from the field and 6 for 8 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the San Antonio Spurs were led by their starting small forward, Keldon Johnson. He finished with 24 points and 8 rebounds in 31 minutes. He shot 10 for 13 from the field, 4 for 5 from 3, and he would also go on, also in their starting lineup, their starting point guard, Derek White, finished with 22 points and 2 steals in 33 minutes. He shot 7 for 15 from the field and a perfect 6 for 6 from the foul line. With this win, the San Antonio Spurs are now 11-17. With this loss, the Utah Jazz are now 20-8 at this point in the season. Taking a look at what is going on in Minneapolis, the Minnesota Timberwolves hosted the Los Angeles Lakers. The Timberwolves would end up beating the Lakers 110-92. The Timberwolves won this matchup by 18 after they outscored the Lakers by 9 in the first half and by 11 in the third quarter. On the losing end of this matchup, the Lakers were led in scoring by their guard off the bench, Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas finished with 19 points in 22 minutes. He shot 5 for 12 from the field, and he shot 7 for 9 from the foul line. The Lakers' goated starting point guard, LeBron James, finished with 18 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 blocks in 36 minutes. He shot 5 for 13 from the field, 2 for 6 from 3, and 6 for 8 from the foul line. The Lakers' elite starting point guard, Russell Westbrook, finished with 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists in 29 minutes. He shot 4 for 7 from the field and 6 for 11 from the foul line. The Lakers' elite starting power forward, Anthony Davis, finished with 9 points in 20 minutes as he shot 4 for 7 from the field and made his only free throw attempt. On the winning end of this matchup, the Timberwolves were led in scoring by their elite starting center, Karl Anthony Towns. Towns would finish with 28 points and 10 rebounds as well as 3 blocks in 32 minutes. He shot 11 for 20 from the field, 2 for 6 from 3, and 4 for 5 from the foul line. Their elite starting point guard out of Ohio State, D'Angelo Russell, finished with 17 points, 6 assists, and 3 steals in 27 minutes. He shot 6 for 15 from the field, 3 for 8 from 3, and 2 for 5 from the foul line. With this win, the Minnesota Timberwolves are now 14-15. With this loss, the Los Angeles Lakers are 16-14. Taking a look now at what is going on in Portland, the Trailblazers hosted the Charlotte Hornets, and the Trailblazers beat the Hornets 125-116. The Trailblazers won this matchup by 9 after they outscored Charlotte by 17 in the first half and by 9 in the second, by 26 combined points in the first half. On the losing end of this matchup, the Hornets were led in scoring by their elite starting point guard out of Chino Hills, LaMelo Ball. He finished with 27 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists in 29 minutes. He shot 11 for 17 from the field, 3 for 5 from 3, and a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the Portland Trailblazers were led in scoring by their elite starting point guard, Damian Lillard. Lillard finished with 43 points, 4 rebounds, and 8 assists in 37 minutes. He shot 12 for 19 from the field. He shot 6 for 11 from 3, and he shot 13 for 14 from the foul line. Off the bench, their shooting guard, Ben McLemore out of Kansas, finished with 28 points and 2 steals in 27 minutes. McLemore shot 10 for 16 from the field and 8 for 13 from 3. With this win, the Portland Trailblazers are now 12-18. With this loss, the Charlotte Hornets are now 16-15. Last but not least, taking a look at what's going on in Sacramento, the Kings hosted the Memphis Grizzlies. The Grizzlies would end up beating the Kings 124-105. The Grizzlies won this game by 19 after they outscored the Kings by 14 in the third quarter and 17 in the second half. On the losing end of this matchup, the Kings were led in scoring by their starting point guard, Tyrese Haliburton, out of Iowa State. Haliburton finished with 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 10 assists in 38 minutes. Haliburton will go on to shoot 9 for 16 from the field and 3 for 5 from 3. The Kings starting small forward, Harrison Barnes, finished with 20 points in 36 minutes. He shot 5 for 16 from the field, 3 for 7 from 3, and he shot a perfect 7 for 7 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the Grizzlies were led in scoring by their starting shooting guard, Desmond Bane. Bane finished with 24 points in 26 minutes. He shot 9 for 16 from the field, 4 for 5 from 3, and he shot a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. Their starting small forward, Dillon Brooks, finished with 23 points and 6 rebounds in 34 minutes. He shot 10 for 20 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3, and he would make his only free throw attempt on the night. And then the Grizzlies starting power forward, Jaren Jackson Jr., would finish with 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 blocks in 28 minutes. He shot 6 for 15 from the field and a perfect 9 for 9 from the foul line. With this win, the Memphis Grizzlies are now 19-11. With this loss, the Sacramento Kings are now 12-18. But of course, that is how the NBA is shaping up following yesterday's matchups. And then, of course, taking a look at what's going on internationally in the world of soccer. Looking first at the German Bundesliga, the reigning Bundesliga champs Bayern Munich hosted Wolfsburg. They were able to pull off a 4-0 win as their first goal came from their goated German midfielder Thomas Müller. Their second goal came from their French defender Dayot Upamecano. Their third goal came from their elite German winger Leroy Sané, and their fourth goal came from their goated Polish striker Robert Lewandowski. Taking a look at what went down in Serie A, Inter Milan was able to beat Salernitana 5-0 as their goals came from Perisic, Dumfries, Sanchez, Lautaro, and then Gagliardini. Sorry if I butchered the name if I got it wrong. And that's really all of the matchups that I have from yesterday. And of course, thanks for sticking around with me as we navigate through the world of sports one day at a time. Once all of today's exhibitions and matchups are done, I'm ready to come back tomorrow on Sunday, December 19th for another episode of The Elite. I also want to thank ESPN, the FIFA websites, NCAA, NFL, and NBA if I didn't already. And with that said, I want to thank everyone for listening to this piece. I hope all is well, and I'll catch you with another piece tomorrow. Peace out.